Welcome to Rescue the Revenue podcast, where we educate, enlighten, and encourage how we improve our quality of sleep to grow our business and improve your health and wellness. I am Donetta D. Mooring, certified sleep science coach, certified holistic life coach, author, national editor of the Black National Unity News, and a speaker. I am pleased to have my special guest, Altovise Pelzer, award-winning small business trainer and founder of the World Voice League. She hosts the speakeasy-podcast, your number one podcast for unscripted perspective or becoming and staying a successful paid speaker. Welcome, Altovise, and thank you for your time and expertise.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to have this conversation today.
I am too. All right, I'm going to get right with the question. My first one is, what is the World Voice League?
So the World Voice League is an organization that I put together after realizing that there were many, many, many women all around the world whose voices had been muted. They had been muted through abuse, through trauma, divorce, loss of a loved one. And so because of them being muted, they weren't actually living their fullest, potential. They weren't actually able to go and do the things that they had set out to do. And there were many people who needed to hear their story. So World Voice League started out with me unmuting myself and going through the process of becoming unmuted so that I could go and help other women around the world to become unmuted as well.
Oh, my goodness. Wow. I can relate to that in so many ways because I started so severely. I always tell the story that I couldn't even say my name and that I was quiet. I was afraid to speak because I stuttered. And I was quiet all the time. So I just kept everything on the inside, afraid to say anything. I would feel on the spot if someone just asked me my name. And also the abuse, I went through that and being bullied. And so I was just in a shell. And that happened to like my mid-30s. And I still struggle, even though I was an entrepreneur. And it is so important. And I did not know that I would find my voice as far as having a podcast and sharing my truth and sharing my story. And I mean, I've never shared and spoke more about myself ever in life until now. And I just feel as though that hopefully it'll help others to show that it doesn't matter what you go through, just keep pushing. So that's wonderful that you have something like that, and I wish I had it then. But the main thing is that it's there now. So thank you for that. So the next question I have is, why is it so important to educate and empower small business owners to create your own business model using live stream, social media, and your personal story?
So one of the things that we realize when building a business is you have to have a foundation. And any business without a foundation, I don't care how much money you make today, at some point it's all going to come crumbling down. It's like the house of cards. So we always have to have that solid foundation. The solid foundation is, what's your story? Storytelling sells. People buy from who they know, like, and trust. And so as we tell our story, that's creating the solid foundation because people become invested in what it is that we're doing. So it doesn't matter if if you have a bakery, if you have a dance studio, no matter what it is, your story helps to bring people in to that vision and that mission that you have. And so when it comes to social media and some of the other platforms like podcasting and things like that, those are avenues for us to be able to share that story. We always talk about, everybody's like, oh, you need to have a marketing plan. You need to have a marketing strategy. And the reality is marketing is just conversation.
Okay.
Plain and simple. And the easiest way to have a conversation is an introduction, letting people know who you are, what it is that you do, and, showing them some behind the scenes stuff. That's why we see so many of the behind the scenes videos getting so many views on social media, because people want to be invested in the process.
Right. Yes. Wow. Well, let me answer this, which came to mind. For someone as an introvert, and I believe that you are too, how I know it's a struggle, and then you have to find your place. You have to find what fits for you. Is there anything that you can say for people that women specifically that's introverts?
For one, get a coach. I'm going to tell you why get a coach.
Okay.
As an introvert, we are our own worst enemy. And so we
Yeah.
fight ourselves on everything. And we are the ones that will measure 9 times to cut once because we overthink things. And so
Yes.
having a coach gives us someone who will be that click pusher, who will be that person that will kind of drag us across the finish line sometimes, because that's what we need at times. That was a process. Like for me, there were many different things that brought me to the point of me being able to push myself to jump off of a cliff in order to, make things happen. But for so many other introverts, it's a thing of you have the information. You are knowledgeable, you are an expert, you have the experience, you've spent the time, you've put in the sweat equity. But you need somebody that's not going to hold your hand per se. You need somebody that's going to kick you in the rear end.
Right.
And
Right.
that is the piece that a lot of introverts kind of shy away from because it feels aggressive. And even when they don't say something that is technically aggressive, it will feel aggressive because it goes against our personality.
Right. Right. Right.
So
I'm sorry.
that's it. Mm-hmm.
I'm laughing because, like, you step on all my toes. I do have a coach, and she's pushing me, and it's just like, whew, okay. Oh my goodness, I'm very determined. I'm very consistent. However, I struggle with certain things, and I know why. And I find myself sometimes trying to get around it. And I always say that I'm behind the scenes, but yes, I'm out there, but I know I need to do, a video.
Oh,
However,
yeah.
I
That's our
heard.
smoke screen right there. I'm behind the scenes. That's our smoke screen.
Right, yes, yes.
Doing the work, but we just not out in the forefront. Well,
Right,
some of us
right.
want to be out in the forefront.
Right, yes, yes. Now, I was on a workshop and something someone said, I was like, oh, I could do that. He had said you can do 30 seconds. Just get on and do 30 seconds. You don't have to be long or 10, 15 minutes and give a whole speech. And I was like, oh, okay. I could do that. And then I pulled out my content and say, oh, I could do that. So now it's just a matter of time. Like I'm going to schedule because I'm such a planner. I can't just at the whim just decide to do things. And so now I believe that I can do it. So sometimes you have to hear people say other things to realize you can actually do it and just stay consistent and just schedule it because I'm like I said, I'm a planner. Just schedule. I'm going to do this on Sundays at 11 o'clock, or something like that.
Think about it like this. Our children, we can tell our children something 500 times. They hear it once from somebody else and it clicks.
Yes. Yes, that's true. Yes, that's true. Or even you just hear it in a different way or wasn't the right time or whatever it may be. So it's like, oh, I can do that. So I just have to plan it out and just do it. And even if it's not, it doesn't always have to be live. Everything don't have to be live. Even if it means just recording it, you still on video. And the times I have done it, which was somewhat spontaneous, that I got a lot of views. And it's just like, and I always tell people up front, it just comes out my mouth that, I'm nervous. I always say that. And then once I do that, and then I can relax. Like, I'm nervous, but I'm here, and it's not about me. It's about you, but I want you to hear that. So once I say that, and then it's just like, okay, I got this now. So I'm being true and authentic and letting people know. So yeah. So thank you for sharing that. Oh, my goodness. Wow. Whew. Okay, now the next question is, can you share the World Voice Summit and how that improves your voice as women?
So the World Voice Summit, I didn't do it in 2020 and 2021, which is interesting because that was when everybody was running to doing summits. But I did it for 2018 and 2019, and we had over 100 speakers for the very first one, and it was worldwide. So we had speakers coming in from Korea, speakers, virtually from Australia, all over the world. And it was the model to be able to say, first and foremost, we're not alone.
Yes.
That is a trick that we fall for, a trap that we fall for many times over, thinking that we're the only one that has dealt with this situation or has come up against this brick wall or has had this point of, pain in our body or muscle that has, started feeling a little sore. No, you're not the only one. And even if there's a small group, there's still a small group. But the first thing that we have to understand is that in order for us to know that we're not the only one, we have to be able to tell our story. We have to be able to go and hear other people tell their story. And so that was a big piece of the World Voice Summit, was bringing voices from all over the world to say, this is what I've gone through in my journey when it comes to building a business. This is Facebook ads. This is this. And I mean, they spoke on everything and anything under the sun, because I wanted people to understand that this is a broad, spectrum when it comes to being successful and, increasing in our business, increasing in relationships, increasing in life and health. It's a broad spectrum. Don't get so stuck in one frame of mind that you miss an opportunity somewhere else. The second thing was to give an opportunity. And I love it because I still have people who were a part of the very first summit back in 2018 who reach back out to me and say, thank you. Your summit broke something for me and allowed me to go and speak and do events. I had a gentleman by the name of Unissa. He's in the UK, and he was a speaker for the summit. Not long after the summit, his son passed away, and his son was here in the States. So one of my team members reached out to him, prayer was making sure that she prayed with him, checking in on him, and, just in that moment to be that support. Because again, we need that support in order for us to get through some of the things that we, again, think we're by ourselves.
Right. Wow, that's amazing.
And it opened up some other opportunities to where when I last spoke to him, he was doing some things with Les Brown.
That is great.
It starts with one opportunity. And so that's what it was. It was that one opportunity to go ahead and spark something in order for them to be able to run to something even greater.
Right. Great. Now, I realize probably because 2020, because of COVID and even now, but maybe you might consider, we're virtual. So that's what a lot of people doing, because it sounded though definitely it's something that's really, really needed. And so, hopefully that there will be something that you will consider soon.
Yeah, we're thinking about bringing it back for 2022.
Oh, okay.
And it was completely virtual, so we did it all.
Oh, okay.
It was interesting dealing with all of the time zones and everything, but we made it work. And so we're thinking about doing in-person and virtual version of it in 2022.
Oh, okay. Great. Thanks for listening to Recipes of Revenue podcast. We're going to take a quick break.
Greetings, I am Sandra Chain, and I'm so excited about my new podcast, The Profit in the Nonprofit. It's going to be held every Thursday at 9 a.m. And guess what? You're going to learn how to make a profit in your nonprofit, how to set it up, and how to get funding. That's every Thursday at 9 a.m. See you there.
Hello, this is Donetta D. Mooring. I want to share with you my new book, 21 Days to Improve Your Sleep Hygiene and Lose Weight. It's a great book that provides guidance, tips, and techniques on how you can become more mindful, gain energy, and become more productive to grow your business. I appreciate you purchasing my book on Amazon, or you can go to my website, Donetta D. Mooring, which is DONATADMOORING.com. Thank you for your support. I am Donetta D. Mooring, Wesley's Revenue Podcast, and we have our special guest, Altovise Pelzer. Now, the next question is, what have you discovered and you had to come to grips about accepting who you are as an early bird while getting your sleep?
So here's the thing. When you do events normally start about 8 o'clock. They can go all day, and then afterwards they have little gatherings and meetups. Everybody goes out. I'm an early bird, so by 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, I'm like ready to hit the bed. I'm ready to go. And so it was interesting going to events because people would think, oh, she doesn't want to network. She doesn't want to, she doesn't want to engage with people afterwards. Like, what is that about? And it wasn't that. It was by 8, 9 o'clock, I'm ready to go to bed.
Why
y'all
you tired?
Going out. Because while y'all are asleep at 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm up, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, doing work. And so I had to learn that it was a good thing for me because even while I was still working a job, I would get up early, do work, get the kids ready for school and make sure that they got out the door, or get myself ready for work. I would go all in at 4 o'clock in the morning and get so much stuff done before other people would even get up out the bed. And it was that tenacity. It was that drive. And so everybody's not an early bird, and that's okay. There's some that are, the night owls. I have team members who, when I'm going to bed, when I'm opening my eyes and getting up at 4, they're going to bed at 4. Okay, so I understand, and they get their best work done throughout the night.
Right. Tap
into that. Like, that was the part that was most important, was learning to tap into it. Don't try to go against the grain.
Right.
If you're the early bird, get up early, spend some time just going ahead and clearing your head, prayer, meditation, then do your work and get it done. If it's in the evening, go ahead, find your way that you can decompress from your day, a detox bath or whatever, you do to go ahead and remove everything that you've gone through in the day and so you can get focused. So you give yourself an hour, 2 hours that you work on your business. There's so much that you can get done in 30 days if you use your early bird or your night owl status as an asset.
Oh, my goodness. Thank you for saying that. And I'm so glad you said that because I know, it's almost like a standard that you have to wake up a certain time and go to bed. But it's not, and I'm glad because, everything don't fit for everyone. And the most important is to get your quality rest, regardless of when that is. And so, the same way when people say how many hours of sleep, and you hear 8 hours, you could stress out just thinking I'm not getting my 8 hours. But for everybody, it's different. For someone, it might be 5 hours. Someone else 6. Someone might need 10. So it just depends on what works for you. And, like you said, if someone, if they're more creative and they get more things done at night, but then they sleep more during the morning or mid-afternoon, then that will work for them. And so I'm glad you shared that, and that is key because we all unique in our own way. And so that's the most important. So thank you for sharing that. Now, the next question is, do you find it's important to declutter and create that space for rest?
Oh, yes. Listen, I am, as an introvert, I've found, of course, I regain my energy in small groups and when I'm spending time by myself. But also something that I learned a few years ago, and I started doing this with my clients. The beginning of every year, we do something called a purge. And they have a whole workbook that they go through. We purge everything. And so offices get purged, kitchens, drawers. Listen, anything that we don't need, we're letting go of. The trunk of their car, like so many things. And the reason why is because we get into a funk. You can always tell somebody what somebody is going through mentally, emotionally, if you look at the places that they spend the most time.
Right, yes.
Their car will look like a McDonald's blew up in it. Or, something along that line. I'm not a McDonald's fan. I'm a Chick-fil-A fan.
Right.
Chick-fil-A blew up in it, right?
Right.
But it's because you haven't, cleared out that space to give you just moving. Okay, well, when you go ahead and you purge, you got to stop for a second. You got to go ahead. You got to slow down. And we're in a society that's all about hustle and grind and move and push, and that's great until it's not.
Right.
And you never want to be at the edge and fall over because you've been hustling and grinding and not paying attention to the direction you've been going in. So we have to take a step back, and that's why we do it at the beginning of the year. We take that step while everybody else is talking about new year, new me, and got the vision boards and all. Okay, that's nice. Let's make room for what we want in the next year.
Right.
And so we go through that whole process, and it has cleared up so much for so many people because there is an emotional tie that we have with a lot of things that we purchase or that we hold on to. And the first time that I did it for myself before I started doing it for my clients or with my clients. And I got rid of, I would go, listen, I was the one that would go to Walmart on Black Friday and buy the DVDs for $5 and $3 and $7 and $10. Yes, listen. And I would go to more than one Walmart. That was bad. So I had like these crates of DVDs, but nobody in the house was watching them.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
They was just sitting there. And so I said, okay, enough is enough because they taking up space. We're not watching them.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. I grabbed all those DVDs. I went to the local pawn shop and said, okay, whatever y'all can take, y'all take. Whatever they couldn't take, I took to the local Goodwill and I left it big. We have not looked back. We may have like maybe 6 DVDs of things that they really wanted on DVD, and that was it. But we have not looked back. And think about it. Right now, we have Netflix and Hulu and Disney.
Right.
Do you really need the DVDs? Like,
no.
Do you really need them? Most times you don't. So, yeah, going and creating a habit of just starting that year off with purging things out and clearing that space out so I can make space for what's coming. Because I never want to be in a position where somebody has something, a blessing to give me, or I'm expanding my business and I don't have space for it.
Right. Oh my goodness, that is so true. Because at times I wonder if I have a little bit of OCD because I'm so neat and I like things put back in its place. And then when someone touches it or move it, it's like, oh my goodness. But also I noticed as far as my sleep too, as far as my bedroom, which is crucial, but not just your bedroom, but your home in general. How decluttering and creating that space for rest, whether it's the living room, the dining room, the kitchen, it doesn't matter, to have things in order. And I know some people, I always hear that saying that when it's, I can't think how it's said, it's madness in when things is not in order and there's a madness, there's a, oh my goodness, I can't think how to say it. There's a madness to my method. It's junky, but they know where to find things. I don't really understand that, but if that works for them, then so be it. But, it's nothing like declutter so that when you can get the quality rest. And it's not always the physical. It's the emotional, the mental declutter so that way you can get rest.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
Yes,
Again, we are always putting ourselves at the best position to be able to succeed. If we're saying that we want to succeed, rest is important. I don't care who you are. I don't care how much money you're trying to make or how much money you have made. If you don't have enough rest, you're not going to be able to enjoy it.
Right. Yes. 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 That's true. I tell people that all the time, that you're not going to be around. You're trying to hustle and stay up 24/7 to make this money. But what good is it if you're not healthy or you don't have the energy to even enjoy it? So I definitely agree. So thank you for that. Once again, thank you for staying with Recipe the Revenue Podcast. We'll be right back. This is Donetta D. Moore. I am so excited, and I welcome you to my new podcast, Rest Leads to Revenue. This will be an outstanding podcast for entrepreneurs and business owners. This podcast is an extension of my book, 21 Days to Improve Your Sleep Hygiene and Lose Weight. This podcast will educate, enlighten, and encourage you to take charge of your sleep with respect as an entrepreneur and business owner. Gain energy you need to take the business to the next level. I welcome you to tune into my podcast every Friday. You won't regret it. Thank you for staying with our special guest, Altovise Pelzer. I am so grateful for your time and your expertise and all the information that you shared. And I would love for you to allow us to be able to contact you and also support you.
Most definitely. So I would love for the audience to connect with me over on Instagram. I am out at Altovise Unmuted. That's ALTOVISEUNMUTED. Altovise Unmuted on Instagram. Send me a DM and let me know that you heard me on this podcast, because I would love to get your feedback from the episode. And then also, if you're saying that, you know what, it's time for you to get some more accountability or some real accountability to be able to succeed, definitely let's connect. bit.ly/World Voice Member. bit.ly/World Voice Member. You can go there, and the information for the accountability membership is there. You can sign up all at one link, and definitely it's a supportive community, all for women, and it's one where we meet regularly to be able to make sure that you can succeed in your life and in business.
Okay, great. Thank you. If someone would like to reach out to me, the best way would be Donetta10k.com, and that is spelled DONATA, the number 10k.com. That's where you'll be able to find my website, all my podcast episodes, services I offer on sleep, health, fitness, and wellness, including all my social media platforms and so much more. Once again, Donetta10k.com. Remember, sleep heals.